Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about the US embargo made on Cuba and what it all means. First of all, let's start with the word embargo. What does embargo mean? An embargo is somewhat like a ban of trade or selling. For example, if I have a country and so do you, in some political way with lots of power, I can set an embargo on your country where you cannot import or export anything out of your country. You only use your resources. It's like I'm disconnecting you from the world. What is Cuba famous for? Cuba is famous for its cigars, its rum made from sugarcane, its ladies, salsa, and other Cuban dance styles. Fidel Castro, Che Guevara, 1950s era cars, etc. It's a whole different theme. Cuba is beautiful. The embargo against Cuba was declared from the United States. The United States embargo against Cuba prevents the American business and businesses with commercial activities in the United States from conducting trade with Cuban interests. It is the most enduring trade embargo in modern history. The US first imposed an embargo on the sale of arms to Cuba on March 14, 1958. During the Fulgencio Batista regime, again on October 19, 1960, almost 2 years after the Cuban Revolution had led the deposition of the Batista regime, the US placed an embargo on exports to Cuba except for food and medicine, after Cuba nationalized with the US-owned Cuban oil refineries, without compensation. On February 7, 1962, the embargo was extended to include almost all the exports. Since 1992, the UN General Assembly has passed a resolution every year condemning the ongoing impact of the embargo and declaring it in violation of the character of the United Nations and of the international law. Israel is the only country that routinely joins the US in voting against the resolution, and also has Peru every year from 2004 to 2008. Why is the embargo set in the first place? I will now conclude with the answer to your question. The embargo has never been effective at achieving its principal purpose, which was forcing Cuba's revolutionary regime out of its power or bending it into Washington's will. This was all just a political game. According to William Leogrande, he summarized that the embargo against Cuba is the oldest and most comprehensive U.S. economic sanctions regime against any country in the world. It compromises a complex patchwork of laws and presidential determinations, imposed over half a century ago, which longtime Cuban leader and former President Fidel Castro once called a tangled ball of yarn. This is basically the situation in Cuba.